cafe. Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I just had to tell somebody to stop texting me because they were doing one of those things where they text and they don't stop.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And you don't stop. And then I felt kind of bad for doing that, but hey, it was interfering with my phone call. And that's all I had to say. That's the part of my song where I sing, and it's not that good today. Sorry. But hey, it's episode 2376.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Sometimes you just gotta tell people stop texting, because people don't really call that much
Mike's
these days.
Daily.
It's more of a
Podcast.
texting situation.
Yeah.
So, I am here today. Oh, hang on. Here at Cafe Anyway.
Today's episode is episode 2376
That we're trying to fix at the moment. So, if you hear me disappear for a second, that's why. I'm kind of doing two things simultaneously. But, yes. It was, I was going to bring you a podcast yesterday, and stuff happened, and we went to, what's it called? The Costco. We went to the Costco, and that happened, and that required a lot of my time, and so now I'm podcasting with you with the fun times. And thinking about this year, here we are. It is today, the end of January today, and tomorrow we begin the February, the shortest month of the year, Black History Month. And what else happens in February? We have is that Poxicani guy thing happen? I forget when that is. But yes, we're going to do all that in the month of February. So now we're starting to think, what are we doing in 2022? What are we doing as far as like what changes, what kind of things are we going to do this year? That's an excellent question here at Cafe Anyway.
And here's today's podcast picture.
For one, I will get you a podcast picture. Let's see. We're going to go with this is a nice one. I think this one from Fremont. See it at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Let's see, the last one was from Podcaster Valley when I was stuck in that horrendous traffic jam caused by all kinds of crazy things that took place. You know what? Actually, we might steal a picture from someone I know named Ken. He sent me a bunch of pictures from his Carmel, Monterey trip. Oh, the late, great Basil the Boxer. Basil and I, made, I think, 3 or 4, maybe 5 trips down to Monterey, Carmel. Had such a wonderful time. So I'll post that, MikesDailyPodcast.com. And all the links and things to, hey, I heard from a fellow podcaster today, and they host a podcast. I think it's called Fuego Sonrisa. They got a latest episode on YouTube. They post things on YouTube. I'll have to check it out. Fuego Sonrisa. Well, there you go. And as I look at my wonderful Gmail, MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com is where they emailed me, by the way. I see that I can respond. These responses, I can say, thanks, I'll check it out. Cool, I'll check it out. Or awesome, thanks. There's so many decisions. I'll say, cool, I'll check it out. There we go. So what are we going to do for 2022? Now, I did go to Costco yesterday, finally went. I think it had been about 3 months since I last went. I have a membership with them. I did the executive thing because I thought, it'll pay for itself, because they take all the times you go and you buy stuff, and it goes towards paying for your membership. But I don't really go enough, so I don't know if it really works for me. So that's my plug and my slug. But here I do get, because I shop there, I get the Costco connection. And they talked about some changes in 2022, what their readers said. Oh, by the way, here's one of the changes I made in 2022. Got rid of the gray beard. Well, I got rid of... No, am I coloring my beard now so it's not gray? No. I have just cut it really short. Instead of the number 3 setting on my trimmer, I went with number 1. So yeah, but there's just a tiny bit of stubble. I got the Don Johnson stubble thing happening. No, not really, but that's my new thing for 2022. I'll go with that. That's one of my changes this year. Here's what somebody wrote in the Costco connection. Drink less alcohol. Drink more water. That is a fantastic plan. I will tell you why I say that, but still there is more in this resolution or this plan for 2022. Reduce carb, sugar, fat, and sodium intake. Get my mindless eating under control. These are all fantastic things. Okay, so for one thing, drinking alcohol. Alcohol turns to sugar in your system. And that adds... You gain weight. You get the beer gut and all that. So, my body told me that, point blank. Every time I had a lot to drink, in the morning, it would all turn to sugar. I would wake up. I'd be wide awake at 2 o'clock in the morning. I hated it. I'd be tired all the next day. Plus, you're thirsty and dehydrated and all that. So, instead of drinking the flavored drinks and the sugar-infused drinks, drink water. Your body needs that so much. We are practically made of completely out of water. We are water beings. We like being in the water sometimes. It's always nice to shower and be around people who shower. So that's why I stay away from Maggie Gyllenhaal. Apparently she's shower averse these days because of the skin biome and all that stuff she's trying to do. As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. This person also writes, get my mindless eating under control. And that's another thing we do. We eat, we just gobble. I'm hungry and we just put as much food in our mouths and eat as fast as we can because we got things to do when we should stop and enjoy it. It's a process that we should enjoy. And a lot of us don't. And I think we would eat less if we... I got a call. Hang on. I'll be right back. Hold your horses. Oh my gosh. Oh, thankfully the person that I talked to was able to fix everything and save the day. Yay. So, get the mindless eating under control. Big task. Not easy to do. I'm always trying to work on that. Save more money. Save more money. How is that even possible? Well, you cut out ridiculous things that you buy that you don't even use, that goes to waste, that you go and you drink the coffee. Everybody pokes fun at Starbucks, but it's probably the worst offender. Getting that you can make that coffee at home. You can find the recipes online. It's easy to do. I'm addicted to burritos. I could learn how to make a burrito at home. You know what makes us spend the most money? Laziness. The more lazy we are, the more money we spend. Lazy. Time is money. But money gets spent because of laziness. So that's something to remember. And also, this person here wants to get a promotion at work, but also volunteer more. Maybe one helps the other. Make the world a better place. That's the other thing they say, which I think when you volunteer more, you help do. Another person writes, make time to relax and not always be on the go. Enjoy things more and do things for myself. That is a good... Make time for hobbies, too. Crazy, ridiculous, superfluous hobbies like I'm doing here with Mike's Daily Podcast. But yeah, you gotta relax. Not always be on the go. Enjoy things more. So much... This is rich with valuable information. Shakespeare once said, "Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds." Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds. So if you gotta change, or you gotta try and change somebody, is it love? You dun da 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 da. Now is that love? Squeeze. And Mark Twain once said, "On with the dance. Let joy be unconfined." Does that help you? Or would this podcast be better if I did it the Joe Rogan way? Oh, yes, Joe Rogan. Who's on Spotify? Who gets a lot of money from Spotify? Who did not want to upset Neil Young. Neil Young said, look, Spotify, you've got Joe Rogan on your app, on your platform. And because of that, I want my music taken off. A couple other people, Joni Mitchell, a couple other people have said the same thing. To which Joe Rogan said, look, I will try to have more people with differing points of view on my show. That's what I think. And I listened to a conservative talk show host make a remark about that. In fact, that's how I heard the clip of Joe Rogan saying that. And I listened to a conservative talk show host say, well, Joe Rogan didn't actually apologize. Well, I don't think that's... Actually, what I got from that is something that everybody should do that's in the world of media, is listen to both sides. We don't listen. It's amazing because conservative talk show hosts, they are being listened to. They have listeners. Yet, they're not listening. And maybe what Joe Rogan said, and far be it me to ever agree with what Joe Rogan says, but he was pretty good on the show News Radio. Remember when he was on that? Did not like Fear Factor, but the fact is, maybe that is the truth right there, is we need to listen to each other. Spend more time listening. As Reba McEntire once said on an interview that I heard last year, we need to spend more time listening to each other, trying to hear each other out, and less time shouting to try to be heard. So, at any rate, I would love to. There's this guy, I'm not going to be able to find it while I'm doing the podcast here, live somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, but this guy who does a very anti-vax show on the radio, and he's a nice guy. I know because I've talked to him many a time. He lives in Podcastro Valley. I just do not agree with him at all, but oh my gosh, he invites a lot of people, that push the anti-vax narrative on his show. Well, not on his radio show, but he actually has a church, and so he invites them to the church. I gotta look up some of the people he has, but yeah. So isn't it interesting that on Spotify you've got Neil Young, who is a pro-vaxxer? That's maybe pro-science is more of the term. And then you've got Eric Clapton, also on Spotify, who is an anti-vaxxer similar to the Joe Rogan, who is maybe going to have opposing points of view on his show. You can listen to this podcast on Spotify as well. And then listen to your Eric Clapton if you are in the world of keep the vaccine away from me, because it's the Antichrist and it's the mark of the beast and all of that. If that's what you believe. And it's genetic therapy, and you're changing my genes by having me take this vaccine. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley, the last place on earth. Nature and natural things and no vaccines, except for the ones that we had maybe as boosters, like I did a week ago is when I did it. Look who's here. Hi, Mac. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How's y'all doing?
It's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what.
What?
I think that Joe Rogan is right, and we should stay away from vaccines, and we should stay away from anybody that's trying to force vaccines down our throat. Maxine Waters.
You don't like Maxine Waters?
No, I'm anti-Maxine Waters, Mike Matthews. Tell you what.
What? You know what? I wonder if I still have that Maxine Waters quote. Hold on.
No, I don't.
Oh, it was so good. It was the one where she said, Trump was like, yeah, you should shoot Maxine Waters. And she said, oh, if you're going to shoot, you better shoot to kill, because there ain't nothing worse than a wounded animal. Oh, maybe someday I'll find it. But for the time being, we're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley, the last place on earth. And look who's here. Oh, we have one other person then.
Hello, Mike. I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now.
Excellent. I think we learned a lot on today's podcast.
Drink it right now. I'll cut you.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's the interesting story. So at Costco, I'm paying for everything. It came out to a lot. And then the cashier says, oh, do you also want this? And I see my lovely lady friend's got her shampoo there. And then there's like a bag of something. And I go, yeah, those two. So I pay for that. I get home, finds out the little bag that was next to the shampoo was a bag of limes. So now I've got all these limes. When life gives you limes, make margaritas. Put it on your food. It makes everything taste delicious. I love limes. Okay, next show is going to be the wonderful Shelley Shuhart, Floyd the Floor Man, and John Deere the Engineer. Chime in about anything we covered today. 336MM Daily. 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast will try to be. Sometimes we get a little distracted and interrupted and all that. But just remember, you can't stop me unless you kill me. Because there ain't nothing worse than a wounded Mike.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!